Good evening, good morning, whatever time it is you actually listen to this post today. Welcome back to the Sounds of Shay. If this is your first time here, then welcome. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel so that I can build up my audience as we go along. All right. Today we're going to talk about the persistence of being in the Lord. How you can just continue to ask God for help and never ever give up. And just because you do ask for help does not mean that you don't have faith or anything like that. I feel like it's actually on the other end. If I keep asking, it's because I know you can do it, God, right? So we are going to talk about that. I'm going to give you some scriptures from the New Living Translation version of the Bible, as always. I still have not come across a teleprompter that I like, where I can read fluently and be able to communicate with you. So, with that being said, persistence in the Lord. Life can be tough, and sometimes we feel like giving up. But the Bible teaches us that when we stay faithful, God moves in powerful ways. So, like, have you ever been praying for something, you feel like nothing's moving? This mountain isn't moving. This burden isn't getting any lighter. Like, God, when? God, how? God, come on. Where you at, Lord? You know what I mean? All those feelings that come over us when we, really are pressing towards something in particular that we need God for. I can talk about myself as far as healing is concerned. I was always in God's face. Like, listen here, God. I am not able to speak properly. After I had my stroke, I sounded like a robot, and I was talking kind of like this. I had to really think about what I needed to say to make sure I was formulating the sentence properly. And it was just such a difficult task to learn how to sing all over again, because my hearing, everything was off. Like, my peripheral vision, everything was just wrong, and I just didn't know what to do. But I was really kind of bummed out, because I am a praise and worship leader, right? And I'm like, well, God, if I can't sing, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to worship you like this? And so God had to show me something different as to how I hear God, and how I communicate with him. He's like, I'm still talking to you, daughter. I just need you to listen a little bit differently. And so once I got in the groove of, understanding how me and the Lord were going to communicate going forward, it made things better for me. And I started to speak at a much faster pace and stuff like that. I had to learn how to write all over again, had to learn how to cook. And learning how to cook was quite tricky, because my children were always around me, and they, just on my nerves, okay? And none of them could cook. So I was hungry, and I had to figure out how to cook. And so one day I was finally at home by myself. I must probably say about 3 months after I had my stroke. I had to have a timer because I had like no concept of time, because I was like burning rice, just to kind of give you an idea. I couldn't cook anything. So I decided this day I was going to make a pot roast. So I made the pot roast. I put it in the oven first. Then I cut up the potatoes in the pot roast. I put that all in the oven, and I had that on the timer on the stove. And then I had some green beans that I made. I put that in the pot, and I put that on the timer on the microwave. So I could make sure that I had all the times sectioned out. So when my children came home, they were like, why do we smell food? And I was like, I cooked. I was like, I was hungry, and you all weren't feeding me. So I need to do something. And same thing with driving. After I went to have my stroke, I had to have physical therapy. I had an Uber driver for probably about a good 3 weeks. And on that 4th week, I was like, I can't afford the Uber driver anymore, because I didn't have any income coming in, because I wasn't able to work. And so I was like, okay, God, it's me and you, and we're going to get in this car and we're going to drive. And it was very painful to drive, even though like turning left and turning right was so difficult. And then because I couldn't see peripherally, it was very difficult to drive. So I had to take the streets from the south side of St. Louis to DePaul Hospital, which it took me about 45 minutes to get there on the street. And my doctor said to me one day, she was like, how are you getting here every day? And I'm like, I'm driving. She was like, you're not supposed to be driving. Well, you want to see me or no? Because we have no choice. So I had no choice but to start driving. And so I did. I did it step by step, but you know, God allowed me to see my way through, and I am just so grateful for that. So you just have to constantly be in God's face, and you know, talking to Him about the things that you are looking for of the Lord. And you have to also be full of gratefulness, because I was so grateful that God did not leave me handicapped, and that, you know, my face didn't go all crooked and my arm wasn't stuck to my body and all that sort of thing, because there were a lot of people that were recovering from a stroke with me, and they were in a way worse condition than what I was. You know, the fact that I was even able to speak a little bit, and I could take myself to the restroom, and I could still wash myself up, stuff like that, that other patients in there were not able to do. And it made me really sad, to watch them go through that, understanding that that could have been me. You know what I mean? So that's that. Enough of the testimony time. But endurance, the blessing brings. God blesses those who patiently endure the testing and temptation. Afterward, they will receive the crown of life that God has promised to those who love Him. Every struggle, every test is shaping you for something greater. When you stay faithful, God rewards you beyond what you can imagine. And I mean beyond what you can imagine. Sometimes persistence seems impossible. That is Philippians 4:13. But I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. That's Philippians 4-13. Your breakthrough is coming. Just be encouraged that it is really on the way. It doesn't seem like it, I promise. I know that feeling all too well, but it is coming. Don't lose heart. You know, just continue to love on God and stay in His Word. If it'll make it easier for you to study what it is that you're looking for help in. So if it's for healing, I was reading all the scriptures about healing, all the scriptures about forgiveness when I had an issue with that. And, you know, just being patient overall, it is a gift of patience and a gift of grace and all of those things that the Lord gives you to be able to make it through to the next thing. So just make sure you stay on top of it. But Galatians 6:9, it encourages you. So let's not get tired of doing what is good. At just the right time, we'll reap a harvest of blessing if we don't give up. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. So stay faithful, trust God's timing, and don't stop believing. If this message has blessed you today, let me know in the comments. And like I said, like and share my channel. And let me know if your persistence with the Lord has paid off in your life. All right? So just shoot me a message and let me know, because I really wanted to have some dialogue with you all so we can do more of these as the weeks come forward. But thank you so much for coming to my channel. I really appreciate you. I am looking forward to us growing together. Have a wonderful day and stay blessed.